just say like, oh, by the way, we're all stopped streaming now. We're done.
Hey everybody, welcome to another round of Canje Plays today. Why are you upside down?
I think it worked at all. I thought if I went upside down it'd be like April Fooley. But instead I just look like the Foolie.
I can't turn my camera upside down. My camera's like attached to my monitor.
Well, it's not attached to like your body. That's half the battle.
well, knowing is the other half. Of course, you know.
True. G.I. Joe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Canje Plays. But today is the co-op chat that Steve has allowed me to host, and thank you so much for giving me that honor. So I'll be hosting the co-op chat today, and we have Bairnt, who seems to be in the upside down.
With this, I can't get this to. Here we go. Let's go back.
Hey, he's no longer in the upside down. And we have Steve. What's going on, fellas?
Jimmy Corgan! Ah! Sorry, Steve. Hey, it's good to see you.
Competitive war game chat. Hey Jess, hey Brad, hey Yogi, what's going on? What's going on? So our topic today, as you can see with the big old empty space on the side, is that we're going to be doing a couple things today. One, we're going to be talking about the games that we've just kind of been messing around with, playing, and having a good time with. Then we're going to get into crowdfunding, because there's been a lot of questions on a few, especially a specific one game in general that a lot of people have questions about. And then we're going to talk about short-term upcoming Kickstarters and GameFound campaigns that are on the horizon. So this is probably like about a month out, but we're not going to go any further than that, because then it just turns into this, speculative thing. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I'll start top.
And hold on a second. We're supposed to talk about things we've been playing recently?
Well, what have you been playing recently? I was going to start with you anyway.
I didn't send you any information on that.
I don't need that information. This is talk. This is co-op talk. Off the cuff, Wild West, just however you feel it.
I didn't. Yeah, for a second there, I thought I wasn't prepared.
You aren't.
You saw right through me, Canje.
So, Bairnt, what have you been playing as of late?
Nothing.
Cool.
No, I actually have. I've been playing stuff. I actually just got Tackwing Alliance, which is going to be super cool to play. I just put an unboxing of that on my channel. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so good, Star Trek! Oh, flying ships around, kind of like X-Wing.
Is it actually Tackwing, and it's just the co-op version of it?
Correct.
Oh, cool. I love
so
Tackwing was fun. I enjoyed that.
For those that don't know what a Tackwing is, it's X-Wing except with Star Trek in the Star Trek universe. And for those of you who don't know what X-Wing is, it's Star Trek. And you're flying ships around, and you have these little movement templates, and there's not a board, it's just a 3x3 space. I guess it isn't space. And you're flying ships, and it has a really cool AI system that I'm excited to try out. I'm hoping to maybe get a video of it hopefully done this week. Maybe next week, we'll see how it goes. Because I've also got to play League of Dungeoneers. I'm going to start making my character this weekend, and we're going to record that. I'm almost done with the 250-page rulebook.
That's a long rulebook.
I think I've read more. That book, so I play Dungeons and Dragons. I think I've read less of the rules in that than I've read in the other game. Anyway, I need more coffee. The other one that I'm playing is Madara. I did another episode of that. That's coming out today. And Kyle and I are still playing Oathsworn, but we got to play Fire Team Zero last week, and that was so fun. I like Fire Team Zero. If you never played that, you should play it. It's fantastic. Super easy dungeon crawling dice chucker that is actually very difficult. It's super fun. It's very tactical. If you're not, it's like it goes downhill real fast. As you could saw, we went downhill real fast the first time.
And hey Snow, hey Liz. Liz says good morning. My first time making the live show. Welcome.
Welcome, Liz.
Welcome, Liz.
Liz gets the woot woot for this one.
So, all right. So, Steve, what have you been playing?
Pretty simple. Basically, just one game.
And I know what that game is, don't I?
Yes. I sit there and guard. It's like the only
Can't get enough, huh?
Playing with. In fact, just before the stream, I was what have you been playing? I was like looking at the board, trying to figure where I'm gonna go. So this is, if you're not familiar with it, is a big open world narrative campaign game. I guess we would describe it. uses chips, like poker chips, bag building, fantasy themed, and it's awesome. I can't stop. We just played a little bit last night, and it's funny that ever since our stream together, Derek, that we're still in the same spot in the narrative chapter. We're just exploring the world as we're going to do.
That's cool. That's cool though. Just to let y'all know, this game, if you have purchased this game, you will need a forklift to get it into your house.
Yeah,
it's got some heft.
massive and heavy for sure. Very massive and heavy.
But it is a fun game. I enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get it to the channel. I know that Foreteller, shameless plug, has the audio narrations have been released, so they are open and available for people to get. The original soundtrack is also there as well. I took a listen to. I haven't listened to the narrations, but the soundtrack sounds amazing. So
it is narrations equally as amazing. For sure.
That's grand.
I want the game.
Yeah, I've been doing that, and then the other. I'm going to next week is spring break, so I'm packing some games for a little trip here, and I plan to dig into Ares Expedition, the new content, because I got the expansion command, so I'll be focusing on that a little bit next week. I want to bring us a Fair Guard, but I wait. Probably gonna stay home.
It's got some heft.
Yeah, I hope to get that from Colin. Colin has that game right now. He's working through it, and I think he's doing a playthrough of it. But my wife and I really enjoyed playing the original one, and this one I heard is a lot. It adds even more to make it even better as a co-op.
Yeah, the crisis mode. Yep. I did do a partial solo play of the crisis mode.
Oh, cool. Yeah, check that out. You're not bringing Tiny Epic Everything on your trip?
I haven't decided yet. It's all my tiny. So, one sec here. I'll grab it right next to me.
All right, that's awesome. Wow, this
is what co-op chat is all about. It's just off the holy crap. That's a lot of Tiny Epic.
This is the Tiny Epic storage. So.
It's the coolest thing ever. I mean, that's like my wife's dream board game box.
It's like a little tote. You just throw it on and go.
Yeah, it is. It's so easy to grab. So I've got like
it's 14 games in one bag.
So.
Yeah, so
like bring a whole collection with you, and it's nice to have some variety. So I might bring that with me. I haven't decided yet.
Robin says it's amazing. She loves it.
Yeah, Steve has introduced her to this Tiny Epic extravaganza, and she's like, "Why don't we have more of those? Why do we have all this?" And I'm like, "Because this is good." But that's fine. I'm like, "No, actually, those are good too."
Please, Bairnt, become a fan of Tiny Epic, please. Is it still Tiny Epic if it takes one whole shelf?
That's true.
Fair question.
I would have to say yes. Just one game takes up one of these shelves. It's like this right here, that's Myth, and then all of it behind it is Myth too. It's like it's an extravaganza. It's like two things high. It's out of control.
All right, so for me, I've been playing Hoplomachus Victorum, and I still love that game a lot. I found out that there exists this threshold with me with rules. I'm playing 4 games, and that's my cap. If I go above that, I forget rules for another game. So I've been playing a bunch of other games, and then I came back to Hoplo, and I forgot like 2 rules on there. So I was like, okay, I can't go above my 4 game cap, or else my brain forgets stuff.
That happens.
But that, and of course Marvel United, until Steve gets his computer back, I'll be just playing through some of the campaign stuff. And I've actually built a custom homebrew character for Marvel United that's being play tested now. So we'll see how it shakes out for people who like that. So we'll see. Anyway,
the computer, since you mentioned it, I may be back, not next week, but the week after that.
Ooh, that's good.
Awesome.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully.
Hopefully soon, TM. All right, so
I have become exercised by this group. Actually, my Marvel United has now gone to a new home, so it's gone. I know.
How do we kick people from this chat?
I'm gonna shut Bairnt down. Hold on one second. Heresy. No, I get it. I get it. If it's something that's not for you, it doesn't land, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into, and this is where we're gonna start getting into the crowdfunding stuff that's going on presently. If you're in the chat and you have questions for us about that, about anything else, just go ahead and do question and type your question out, and we'll pull it up and ask any questions that you have.
Like, for example, if you're interested in like how Steve does his hair, we'd be more than happy to explain that.
Very carefully.
But no.
So let's dive in. So the first one that we got on our list is Gatefall Monsters. This is the latest team that's in the Gate. There's like this Gatefall universe with different monsters, and it's kind of a if you play you can play it solo where you'll be taking on an AI, but it's more meant to be played like kind of PvP style where you just chuck dice, fight against these different monsters. But this update adds in monsters from kind of like I say mythical, where all monsters are mythical, none of them are real. But I'm talking about more the Mummy, Werewolf, Frankenstein, Dracula, and what do you call it? It's not Swamp Thing. It's the merman dude.
Merman. Yeah, he's from He-Man.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think that's what it is. So it add those creatures in, but basically they tout this game as one of those games that says, where is it? Pretty straightforward. It says it's a simple, fun dice chucking game system that lets you use huge action figure scale miniatures to fight one another. And that's exactly what it is. It's set out to do that. But right now, the monsters part of the Gatefall universe is up on GameFound now, and I believe they're at it because they have Werewolf, they have Creature from Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, which has no mini. That's funny.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So it's like all these minis, Invisible Man, no mini. But they have all these different ones that are on there for you to go through if you're interested. The Gatefall universe has like their big thing is how detailed their miniatures are, and they just wrap this dice chucking fight game around it. So you're looking to get some really nice minis that come with this game. If you're ever interested in looking at it, it's out there for you to look at. I don't know if y'all want to add anything to this. Nope. Okay.
Nope. Other than I like the approach of the new monsters. I like those classic monsters. Always fun. I don't seem too often. We always get these. I don't know. I kind of out there fantasy or maybe even grotesque monsters, but the classic ones are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Horrified is the last thing I think we saw some of those.
Yeah, they got this Boglin here with his finger up its nose, stuff like that. So that's supposed to be coming soon, Boglins, and then they're doing they said Cobra mode, so I'm assuming they're going a more Eastern theme.
Every time.
So all these different ones that are kind of coming out, so they're building on this universe for people to play and enjoy. All right, cool.
I love how Invisible Man has no mini. Invisible Woman had no mini in that game too, which is amazing.
Jess asked, do you guys know of any solo games that are kickstarting right now that we might not know about? Soon, Jess. Soon. We'll get there. We're going to get there. So, hey, Tiny. How's it going, Fred? All right, so, Bairnt, I'm going to let you take this over because you brought this one up. This is Star Colonies, the card game.
Oh, this is a game that is cards in space. I don't know anything about this game. I told you that, man. I just said, hey, look, the picture looks kind of cool. I might have to look into this one. And now you just put me on the spot. Like,
I did.
You get to draft cards, and
it's a deck build. Yeah, this game is basically a deck builder. Earth is overpopulated and messed up because people are people. And you are contracted. It's a 4X game, so when people say 4X, I think it's what? It's explore,
exterminate, expand, and exploit.
No, it's 4XS. It's those 4 X's and then S for sell, because I usually don't keep my collection very long.
So
it's a genre that usually it keeps it around in my collection very long.
Yeah, so it's There is a solo mode on here that they did say, where you take on, I think it's down here where they say you take on like an AI deck that goes against you, but I believe this game is more competitive than cooperative.
Yeah.
So
Like, so you are hilarious. I haven't been here like a month, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, surprise, Bairnt. Do this game.
I love you, man. I gotta do it. I gotta do it sometimes.
I like Dan's comment. He says, "Cards in Space. I'm in on the detailed description alone." Yes, Dan, all about you.
Yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be good. All right. So the next one up is Maladum, Dungeons of Enveron. So this is
my alley, and I don't know anything about this one.
You don't know anything, or you do?
Oh wait, I do know this one. I'm watching this one on Kickstarter.
All right, then tell me about this one.
It's got cool terrain that I'm planning to use in Dungeons and Dragons. Well, am I doing it good? Did I do a good job?
You did. You did fantastic.
So bad.
You did fantastic. Only because this is so. Like you're absolutely right. The big sell of this game is
the fantasy version of
Core Space.
Thank you, Core Space, which I know Colin did a playthrough of, and I've wanted to get the book from. I've been wanting to do this one, but I haven't had a chance yet to do Core Space, and this looks really awesome. That's why I'm watching it. I think I'm going to go in on it because it not only has awesome terrain, but I think I'm going to love the system that it does too, where it's more of it's a campaign style skirmish type game with missions and things like this, where there is like a whole like AI system, and it's more of you move your character around more like Warhammer on a battle board and things like that with like rulers and things of that nature, as opposed to like moving hexes. But I think they actually adjusted it to make it that way if you want it that way. I think it's kind of multiple ways of playing now, if I remember right when I looked at it. It's been a good couple days since I've looked at it, so I've not remembered a lot of everything that's on there.
No, you've done that. That was way more than enough. Like, that was amazing because
Really?
it covered everything I was going to cover. You did. You nailed it.
Right, Napoleon Dynamite style.
You nailed it. This is the big thing about this is the terrain, and that if you're someone who plays D&D or you play some other type of tabletop RPG that is fantasy based, you can reuse this terrain for that as well. But like Barrett said, there's a narrative to this. It does have a solo mode that's in it for you to be able to play. And it does come with a set of adventures for you to go through. It's built off the Core Space system, which is kind of the same thing. I know, Barrett, you said Colin did a playthrough of Core Space that he has up on his channel that you can see if you want to see what that stuff, if you want to see what it looks like. But this is the fantasy based of that. And the terrain is just gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it's in the terrain though is very cardboard, kind of like put it like a line in how you want it to or something. I don't think it's like giant plastic miniatures or anything like that.
Yeah, but for cardboard, it looks good.
No, it's perfect. Well, when you think about it, and actually, I really am excited about it because I don't have to paint it. I mean, oh my gosh, I just got my Dungeons and Lasers box. Like, it's about this, like, full of like all this plastic, like, and it's all spurs. So we've been watching a family shows, like we've been watching Survivor and Camp Cretaceous, and while they're doing that, I've just been building this stuff like nonstop. I just keep clicking it out, and then after I get it all built, I'm looking at it going like, now I got to paint it all. Oh,
yeah. And the price points aren't bad because they are cardboard, which is a good thing, right? The price points aren't awful. I think that if it was actual terrain like Hero Forge, it would cost you some money.
Yeah, this would be about a $2,000 game.
Yeah. So very cool, and they're doing well.
Yes, you got it right.
So the next item up for bid, the Showcase Showdown, is is $1. Oh, 401. So Dungeon Saga Origins, the game of classic fantasy adventure. So I've started looking into this because I knew nothing about Dungeon Saga. Never played it, never saw it, never knew anything about it. And this came out, which looks like it looks like they're using a lot of the what do you call that? Is it Hero Forge where you make your minis?
Hero Forge, you can go in and make minis, and then they have you can either print the STL or you can like $50 and they will send you a miniature that is super, super awesome. But make sure how you decide to make this miniature, because otherwise the lightning can fall off your sword, or you can drop on the stairs and step on it and it's in 4 pieces. So just kind of be careful.
Yeah. You sound like you've had some bad experience.
Especially with my wife's barbarian that now is in 4 pieces. She doesn't like that.
So this is a upcoming one, which is just kind of like a Hero Quest style game. If from what I've read so far, with a couple adventure books that come along with it out the box. The Legendary Pledge, which comes with the 4 adventures, is about 110 US, 89 pounds. So it has a cost to it, but I don't know much about this game or about this system. I just recently started researching it, but it's something that I had on my radar, but I don't know if either of you have looked at it at all.
Mm-mm.
I'm not. I was told if you're not going to say something nice, I'm not allowed to say anything at all.
So this is scratched off of Bairnt's list. We'll just take it at that. This is not for him. So we'll have to dig deeper on that at another time.
Okay, I will say one thing. I backed the original Kickstarter. I think it happened about 10 or 15 years ago. About the same. It was like one of the first ones I backed with Myth and Kingdom Death and things of that nature. Myth, pleasant surprise, still own it. Happy. I do not own Dungeon Saga anymore. I love the fact that they came in these like books and like so you could put them in like a bookshelf and they'd be like upright like books and it's actually built like that to hold all the stuff. I thought that was really cool. They had some great pieces that I've used in Dungeons and Dragons for like they have like bookshelves and tables. They have some really good terrain type pieces. They're really chunky and really good to use. When it came out originally, it was a 1 versus many. It had a solo thing kind of tacked on at the time. I haven't really looked too far into this, but if they've redone if they've really revamped and looked into building this up almost from the ground up to kind of reestablish itself in this genre, you could take a look at it. If it's what it was back in 2010 or whatever when it originally came out, or 15 or something, there were a lot of things that I didn't like about it. When you say the price point is 110 for all that stuff, you're getting quality that is about 110.
Gotcha.
The miniatures are the most detailed. The terrain boards and stuff were all kind of cardboard that you click together with these like these, what do you call them? Like little, almost look like paper clips that didn't work at all. And I was kind of like, this is a really weird thing. But the dungeon is supposed to be one, and it also had an issue since it was 1 versus many, and it wasn't really a dungeon game like a narrative type game. It was more like okay, you're in the dungeon, go win. The person who was the dungeon master basically sought out the wizard and killed him as fast as he could and win the game.
Gotcha.
Because that was his job, to win the game. You go after the squishiest, easiest person to kill, and then you win the game.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm hoping that maybe they've brought this more into a narrative type function where it's more built on them exploring and seeing things and if there is still using the 1 versus many, if that person is able to just kind of put things out on the board based on what the room is and have a goal for them to kind of achieve to move on, as opposed to just my goal is to destroy you and you're not supposed to have any fun, then that could be a problem. That was one of the problems I had with it. I played with a few buddies of mine. We played it a few times and then just kind of went onto the secondary market. It wasn't what I was looking for in a game.
Okay. All right.
So we shall see. I just want people to go in with that caveat. The guy who is in charge of Dungeon Saga is the same guy who was in charge of it 10, 15 years ago. And he is making, if people talk to me sometimes I think you make a game seem too exciting. He's like times 10. He really makes and the way he explained it really gave me this optimistic approach to what is coming into this game. And then when I got it, it didn't really live up to any of the hype it had. So just be aware. And is it Manic who's doing it? I think it is.
It is. Where is the funder?
I think it's Mantic.
Yeah, usually they have the funder on here, and I don't see it.
I'm sure it's Mantic. they've kind of almost been back in the day, about 10, 15 years ago when I used to play Warhammer. They also had their own system for a skirmish style battle game, and it was almost like, I shouldn't say, it's going to sound terrible. I don't mean it that way. It was almost like the poor man's Games Workshop. They had like their own rules system, but it wasn't quite as good as Games Workshop. They had their own miniatures, but they weren't as good as Games Workshop. So it was like, it almost had this, they were like right down here when it came to like the way they built all their stuff. Now, of course, there are some diehard fans out there that just love Dungeon Saga, and I've kind of kept up with them a little bit just to kind of see how this thing is moving along and things of that nature, because I really, one thing I never like to do is like see people fail at their dreams. I don't like that. I think it's really a sad thing to see. And it's good to see that these people are not. They're obviously going to, this is going to fund. It's a 360% over what they're hoping for, or it has funded at 360%. So that's really awesome. But that, it's, I can say, it takes me about 4 seconds to say good things about something, but it takes me about 4 to 5 minutes to say something, not be high up on something, but not give people the bad impression on it. So I'm going to stop there.
Well, I think you gave a fair breakdown of your thoughts.
See what you think. I'm really watch the playthrough videos of it to really see kind of what you're going to be getting when you get this.
Okay.
That would be my one caveat. Sometimes when you see like the original Kickstarter thing, you see interviews and stuff, it sounds really neat, but then that's why I do a lot of just the playthroughs. I don't really do a lot of the reviews because I don't want to give people false impressions of the game. I just like the game to stand on its own. They can see the mechanics, see what it does, and make their own decisions. So anyway, that's Dungeon Saga.
Bairnt has covered it. Hey, side questing. Hey, Desir. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome. So that was a good breakdown of it. I have nothing to add. Steve's been super quiet. Steve, you know all about this, right? No. This is another one. I don't know anything about this, but it's called Crimes Unfolds Pop-Up Mystery Escape Game.
This is going to be sweetness. Oh, here I go. That was fun. Oh,
do it. It's all yours.
This is Key Enigma. For those of you who watch my top games of 2022, Key Enigma actually made my top 10 last year as escape room games. Escape room games are something that my wife and I really enjoy. When after the kids go to bed, a lot of times these are the kind of games we pick up and play because we really enjoy them. We like to try to figure it out together and things of this nature. And Key Enigma is by far one of the greatest companies that does this. Their games are a little bit pricier than some of the other ones out there, but what you get is amazing. You get a fantastic, my wife's already on there going, I need this one. The way it works is a lot of times they have like a web-based system, and people go like, oh, I don't know what you know, but it actually works really well. And the game itself, now this one's cool because it actually is a 3D popped up thing that you're going to be able to interact with as you're playing through the game and you're like opening things and doing things with this thing as you're playing through it to uncover and move on in the actual mystery of trying to solve what's going on. And these take a while. They're not like I can do, like, it's not like Unlock, which no offense to Unlock, great games, we love them. It only takes usually about an hour and a half at the most to get through them if you're kind of playing it, right? Where these can actually take a good hefty month of time. Can't talk. So I wouldn't say, and it's one of those ones again where you don't necessarily are not demolishing the game. So you can actually pass these games on, which is another great feature of this. We have one that we're willing to pass on. It's a horror game, and we didn't even make it through the tutorial before we turned it off because we were so scared. So they really bring the themes of their games to life, and they really make you feel these themes. It's really cool. I mean, we were done with that one. I mean, it was super creepy. So and it's still in my house. I don't know why it's still in my house. I'm gonna throw it in the air, and whoever catches it off the balcony, that's their problem.
Hey, Cybermage, how's it going? Welcome. This looks pretty cool. I bought because I've been to an actual escape room twice in my life, and I failed both times. And so
I'm undefeated, man. You got to come with me.
And I also bought an exit game because a lot of people were telling me, "Hey, you got to try the exit games," so me and my son can play it. Which we're going to be playing soon the next time he's here. But I don't know. I guess this is the next thing for that. It sounds like what you're saying.
I personally, Canje would have recommended Unlock before Exit. That's what I would have done.
Oh, okay.
That's me. Unlock in the order of how I feel that the like mainstream ones are. Unlock is usually, I shouldn't say the easiest, but I think it's the most easy to experience and understand. Then I would go with Exit, and Key Enigma is its own like thing. It's easy to, I shouldn't say it's easy to get through, but it's like a whole new like system. It's not just you have the game in front of you, you're using the game. You're also using the tools provided through the internet as well. Which is neat because like they introduce things like where you email somebody and it like instantly sends you a response based on that, like through your own email address, which is kind of cool. So like they have like they built in things like automatic pings to things, which is kind of cool. So you're getting information and stuff through their little system, which is kind of neat. But of course, it still focuses around this big game you have in front of you and all the pieces that go along with it that you're using to solve the problems. Then once you kind of figure out if you've solved it, you can ask the person in the description in the chat or whatever to say like, oh, I think it's this. And he's like, oh, I was looking over there, but I don't think it is. And it's like, okay, so I know we got it wrong, but you're not having to flip over a card to see if you got it wrong. You still have no clue if you got what to do because that person just says, nope, sorry, you're wrong.
Okay.
That's a cool approach to it, and the pop-up is really interesting as well.
Yeah, it looks really cool. They just got done back. Their last one they did was like a carnival one, and I think it was, I wouldn't say it was a horror one, but I think it was more of a suspense one. Something's happening in a carnival or something. And carnivals usually are creepy in themselves. So this one also was supposed to be at night and things, so I think it was more of a creepy one. But they have some really cool ones for kids even out there. They have like a one that has to do with like magicians, like thing or something. It's like it's set in the fantasy kind of world, but it's a very kid-friendly one. The one we're working on right now is also kind of kid-friendly one. It's more of like an Indiana Jones archaeology one. So like I said, there's so many different themes they do, which is really cool. All right, there you go.
Cool. Yeah, Robin said, I think some of the unlocks are easier. Exit might be a bit harder, but I think that your son might actually like it better because there's more to interact with.
Very true.
Exit or Legacy 2, or not Legacy.
Yeah.
It's a consumable.
One and done.
Yeah, one and done.
Hey, Stacy, how's it going? Dan says, Bairnt's basement looks like an escape room to me. The maze of cameras, games, and paints, and don't fall down the sump.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That'll probably fire off here pretty soon. This thing is sticking up straight in the air. So
all right, let's shift on to Explore It, Fall of the Ancients.
Take it away, Canje!
Oh, McGird. I'm so pumped for this game! So I'm going to get excited as Bairnt just got excited about the pop-up one. Because, alright, Explore It is a sandbox game, which I love sandbox games. My favorite of the Explore It series is Force of Adramon. Like, it's the second expansion in the Explore It world. And it's the first expansion since Valley of the Dead King was the first game. So it's the first expansion in there. It is phenomenal. It is my favorite one. I have not played Domain of Mir's Noctis yet, but so far this is my number one. Now they started as they're releasing the amount in their Hex series until they get to the finale. With the temple one, the next one's called Mountains of Gazai, which is supposed to be a tower defense one. What they're also doing is they're releasing campaigns. And the last campaign was based off of Valley of the Dead King, and it was called Click's Madness. It is a super thick book of beautiful art, wonderful campaign playthrough. And now this one, Fall of the Ancients, is the campaign for Forest of Adramon, which I'm super pumped about. This game has funded heavily. This is a really great system. I love the Explore It series. I think it's fantastic, and because they're doing this one in Force of Adramon, I am all in as much as I can be since I own all of Explore It. But then they did this thing where they hurt my soul, where it's not anything bad. It's just they're doing these unlocks where it's like, oh, cool, because you can get as much of it as you want. And all I needed to get was the Historian pledge, and that was $39. I was like, sweet, my first Kickstarter under $100. Here's my money. And then stuff started unlocking. And they unlocked 2 mats. They unlocked the Click's Madness mat for the first campaign. the neoprene mat. So I was like, well, it's okay. So it's one mat. It's not so bad. And then they unlock the next one. So now they have the neoprene mat for Fall of the Ancients, and I went in on that, pushing my pledge above $100. So once again, I stand defeated. This is a fantastic game, a fantastic system. The amount of characters that you can get, So Jonathan has created, Jonathan and team, it's not just Jonathan, has created a lot of characters that you can play that are completely different, as well as classes that you can mix and match. And so the combinations that you can come up with are up in the thousands of what you can play. So you've got tons of options. And if you're saying, well, I just want Force Adramon, I don't want any of the other series, they have Force Adramon just by itself, the core box. You don't even have to get the campaign that it's on, and then you can try that out for $64. If you are if you are looking for a game to play that is, if you're saying, well, I don't know anything about this, I would recommend Valley of the Dead King first, so that you can get the core rules under understanding. And after you love that game to bits, when you get Force Adramon, you're going to say, okay, this is it. This is the game that's incredible. I love this game. It's fantastic. They have other games that are up. They have Sands of Shirax, which is basically Dune. There is a sandworm, and there are warring states. So it builds that out. But Sands of Shirax is very, 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 very complicated. And so my thing is, if you do not start with Sands of Shirax, do not, or else it could potentially turn you off of the game. What you need to start with Valley of the Dead King, just the core game. Try it out, and if you like those specific things, like if you like how it plays, Force Adramon is the successor. It fills in anything that you felt Valley of the Dead King was missing, and it solves so much of it. And then Sands of Shirax is that next step where it becomes more largely sprawling across this sand world. Domain of Mirza Noctis is kind of like it cores it back down, and it does a more gothic theme, werewolves, vampires, those types of things. And it also has a dungeon crawl aspect in it as well, in Domain of Mirza Noctis. But I have not fully played this one yet. It is on my list to play, and they're going through the series, so it is fantastic. Just fantastic. All right, what did I miss? Let's see. Trying so hard not to buy it. Buy the neoprene, Stacy. Give in. Desir says, I wanted to love this game so much. It has so many awesome concepts, mechanics, etc., and then somehow it turns into a race against the clock. I think it's because they have to put a timer aspect in this game, or else you will just power up to God mode and walk over everybody. So the timer aspect is kind of like the bounce mechanic, but that might not appeal to everybody, and that's okay. That is perfectly all right. Folklore
that do that. You always have to have something that keeps the game moving, otherwise, or something that prevents you from becoming that godlike figure, like you're saying. Otherwise, there's got to be something.
Yeah. Folklore: The Affliction took the #1 spot for Sandbox RPG, and Hexplorer had to go. The new book looks awesome. Well, Folklore is fun, and I really hope you enjoy Folklore as well. For me, it was the opposite. I had already beaten.
I love Folklore.
Well, I beat it. That's the thing. I beat all of it, so I was done.
You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, so I was done. So, but Explore It, it has that replayability that I like, so I went with that.
And that's the difference between campaign games versus sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't finished all of Folklore yet. That's a huge game, but yeah, I actually, and like he's saying, there, if you don't, Folklore really doesn't have much of a timer because it is built more on an experience point type system. So if you could do something for like 9 hours and not get any experience points for it if you're like in towns, if you're doing something else, like all that stuff. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. So Cyberbase says the complimentary unlocks in the Kickstarter just keeps sweetening the pot even more for this game. I think this game is great. If you see here that there's 2 more games left, there's Mountains of Gazai, and then the finale one, which I hear is supposed to be water-based. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And what's really cool about these games is that you can put them all together to make a massive world to play your game on. So I think that is just incredible. But There's, like I said, there's a lot of heroes that you can pick, roles and species that you can pick that'll just be insane. And Jonathan actually created a hero randomizer for people who are like, I don't know who to pick. There's 10 billion people. Pick it for me, and you can. So, which is pretty cool. All right, cool. Y'all want to add anything?
I'm waiting for the next installment personally.
The Mountains of Gazai. Yeah,
it might be.
I'm waiting for the one that's in outer
I want to
space.
get a Hex Core, right? There's so much of it. I don't think I want to get all of it, even though that might be the end result anyway.
yeah. Force Adramon is just my favorite. It is fantastic. I heard sometime down the road they're also going to release a Hexplorer bestiary race guide. Ooh. Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. All right, so let's move on. The one that Steve and I and Bairnt, when I watch your painting stream as well, you got asked about this as well. Let's go ahead and pop on to the Elder Scrolls: Betrayal of the Second Era.
Real quick, from Azir, if you want to.
Oh, where? I didn't say it. Oh, it just popped up. Guys, will you be discussing the Thinning Veil? I'm interested in your thoughts on it. Many people say it's similar to Darklight MM, which I adore. We can take a look at it. I know nothing about the game, but this is impromptu, people. Let's pull it up. So,
well, let me say right now, the words he just said make me interested.
Let's see. Thinning Veil. I know nothing about Thinning Veil.
Veil, that sounds like my hairline.
So let's pop to it. We can take a quick break before Elder Scrolls. An adventure game, a dungeon crawl, dark fantasy inspired by Celtic myth. Okay, you got my attention.
So far, I'm intrigued.
Malefic beings are slipping through the veil to prey on us all. Free expansions for all pledge levels. That's just more minis to me. Let me see. So it's a 1 to 4 player co-op tabletop board game that encompasses RPG narrative storytelling inspired by Celtic myth and Irish legend. Okay, it's not just a game; it's a whole world. Yeah, I don't care about that. Let's look here. What do we got? That is a lot of minis.
I think I looked at this back when, and it didn't fund originally.
Yeah, it's relaunched.
Oh, it relaunched? Okay. Let's see. 2 created. What are the 2? Yep, you're right. Funding unsuccessful, and then it came back again. Okay. There's a lot of minis in this game. I don't have space. I don't have space, but it looks cool.
Makes me happy. I like minis.
Yeah, tons of minis.
I like how the enemies level up in this one. The only other game I know that does that is Sword and Sorcery.
Yep.
And so I'm excited to see more of that in play. That's cool.
Bairnt, no, too many minis, Robin says.
Cool. I need to look into this more.
Yeah, we'll check this out. I don't know much about it. It looks like it's got cubes for activation.
That's usually a good thing.
Yeah. So we'll have to check it out. As I see, it looks like the developer is the one that did some playthroughs on it, Triskelion Games. So this must be their first outing. Because I don't know if this is their relaunch. Lots and lots of minis.
Yeah, this was cool.
It's a pile of opportunity, as Liquider Gaming would always say.
That's what I say to it.
My gosh, definitely sweetness.
Oh, there's the sub. So the minis from these look like scale sets. They look pretty cool, pretty detailed, but you'll have to see what they look like at the end. Because those are just renders. And enchant.
Veil Warden. Oh my gosh, he looks awesome.
Who does?
The Veil Warden.
Let's find the Veil Warden.
Oh, look, this giant lantern. He's got like this bells coming out of his hand. It looks awesome. Oh, those skeleton look so good.
Yeah, those renders look nice, but I gotta wait to see what the minis look like.
They're gonna look good. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll check. I'll check this out, dig into it, and see. How are they doing in funding? Let's see. So they're about halfway there. 18 days to go. 366 backers.
Well, Learn to Play did some stuff on it. He's really good at his videos are really good. Don't worry, Robin.
can't stop showing him these minis. I am Robin. I am just a mere information broker. I'm passing along information. What he does with that information is on Bairnt. All right, Elder Scrolls: Betrayal Second Era.
Yeah.
What is this game? I've heard of this one.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. $2.3 million crowdfunding. There's been a lot of people who were flown out to Chip Theory Games to play test this game, to try it out and see how they liked it. And Liz Davidson, I know Jeremy from Man vs. Meeple, Jeremy Howard played through. There were a few other content creators who were also brought there to play this through, and all of them said really good things about it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that
we were not involved in that.
Who are we? Come on.
I was not. Colin and I were not asked, which actually
there you go. There you go.
So I never reached out to him. I just said like, hey, if you're doing anything, I'd love to do it. I live in Minnesota, but I didn't actually reach out to him. I think that's one of the hardest things I need to improve on is I never really reach out to creators. I have a hard time doing it. Mm-hmm. So if I'd have reached out to Chip Theory, there might have been a chance he would invite me because they wouldn't even had to fly me. I could have just drove there. Like 20 minutes from where I am. They live in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's about the same. It's like 25 minutes away.
Yeah. I think I'd filled out to be a playtester, but I hadn't heard anything back. Yeah, whatever. So this is if people who are like Elder Scrolls, what the hell is that? It's a long-running series, long running series built in the world of Tamriel, where different
did this game come out. I mean, is it a book series or is it a game series first?
I think it was a game series first, like a video game series that turned into books.
I think it's based on a bunch of books, where this one is really just a game series. I remember they had Elder Scrolls 3, I think, for the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't even know what 1 and 2. I'm sure they were PC only.
And they had, there was Morrowind, there's Oblivion, there's so many other Elder Scroll games out there, but it looks like Bethesda had their license selection up to Chip Theory Games for them to make this brand new campaign in here. Just a cute little indie series. It's a cute small one, right, that people don't know about. But it is Betrayal Second Era. This is all fresh new content. And it looks phenomenal to me. Neoprene game mats, neoprene player mats, quality chips like Chip Theory does, and it just looks phenomenal. I was very apprehensive of this game. Very apprehensive of it because I'm like, if it's too many bones, no. However, from what I've seen, from what they've shown so far, it's more Hoplomachus with way more exploration than it is Too Many Bones. And you can the Too Many Bones theme is going to be in every game because you're moving around on the board doing skirmishes. But there were things about Too Many Bones that I didn't like that I love that Hoplomachus just kind of won for me in terms of gameplay. And what I'm seeing on here, what's really cool. And Steve, you haven't talked at all, so I'm going to shut up and let you talk about this a little bit. But what I found that was really cool is that you can build your character any way you want. You can have a character who specializes in magic, or a character who doesn't specialize in magic. And where you place those attribute tokens matters such a great deal that it's beautiful. Anyway, Steve, you haven't talked at all. I'm going to let you take it.
Yeah, we can feed into that. So basically, you got these 4 rows.
4 column, two row, 4 column.
Yeah. So you start adding those abilities. Well, now that stats can't go that high because they're filling the same line. They're actually very clever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. I do like the character customization. This is a very modular game, and that was a big plus for me when I see that because you choose I think you use the word race in this one.
Yeah.
You choose your class, and that constitutes your character. Then you choose a guild, which is like what the party is associated with, and then you choose a region, and the guild or region dictates what the narrative adventure you're going on is going to be. So it is designed to be a 3-scenario mini campaign, and then you're done with it. Then you restart with a new set of conditions, basically, to go through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so big fan of short, condensed campaigns like that. Really, really like that.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed, unlike I think probably one of the three of us that likes Too Many Bones the most. So I'm not I do recognize its flaws in it, but it's still a fun game. I really enjoy it. Now this one, I was a little surprised because when I hear Elder Scrolls, I think open world. And it's not exactly that. It's got some open world hint, hints to it, but it's not open world in what I would expect, I guess to say. So that was one big thing coming into it that I was surprised to see. Not necessarily a bad thing, just something to be aware of. Right?
Well, say more about that, because I know that they were saying that you do have side quests and there's places that you can walk, but are you saying like it's not open world because what gives the non-open world feel that you describe?
Well,
So
if you look at
open
like
world to
Skyrim,
me,
right?
I can go anywhere, do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And you could kind of do that. It's like you choose a region map, and you basically put down points of interest on the map, and you're going to do these points of interest, right? So you can go to like town while you're there and do that stuff, but it's not like, oh, I want to leave this region, go someplace else. No, you're kind of constrained to that, right? It's more of a low resolution open world game. That's how I would describe it. Low
Mm-hmm.
resolution means it's got like it's a very focused open world as opposed to like here's the kitchen sink and everything. Go do whatever you want, right?
So you mean
Right.
you're sectioned by region, like
Yes.
for the campaign portion that you're playing. So for
Based on what
instance,
you've chosen,
yeah. So for instance, if you choose the Black Marsh as your region, that's where you will play your mini campaign, and then when you're done, you're done. And then you would have to start over in High Rock or Morrowind or Skyrim. So they don't connect together for you to go. Oh, okay, well I'm in Morrowind, but I want to travel to Skyrim or Cyrodiil. You don't get to do that.
That's my understanding because I believe that it's the region and guild that defines your adventure. And so the adventure is there's always the same boss you're going up against. But the boss's goals and what they're doing are different depending on your guild and your region. And it's a very thematic depending
Okay.
on what you're trying to do and where you are. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. All
And I
right.
believe there's 6 guilds in the core box, and there's 3 region maps, but they're double-sided, so I think there's 6 regions. So I think it's a 6 and 6 combination there.
Yeah, there are 6 guilds, which is the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, the Pizjik Order, and the Undaunted. And then your regions are Black Marsh, High Rock, Morrowind, Skyrim, and Cyrodiil. And I believe there's an expansion that comes with it, the Valenwood expansion that adds another region.
I mean, if you're getting this game, you probably want to get everything. It's modular, so right, it gives you more opportunities to explore more. So
Yeah.
now the other thing I was interested about this is the loot.
Loot
There's
loot.
not much equipment or items in this one, as far as I can tell. It's a relatively small loot deck. So I'm curious on how that ties with the characters. I haven't seen all the details of that yet.
And
But the abilities look really fun. The leveling up and the character customization by far, in my opinion, is the selling factor for this game.
what do you think of the exhaustion track?
Love it. Absolutely love it. So how that works is when you're playing the game and you can push yourself to do these extra abilities, and what you do is you put these cubes at the bottom of the player board. And every I think it's a target turn, you have a cooldown number. It might be like 1 or 3. And that's how many of those dice you remove from your track, and then you get to add them back to the supply. So if I use my abilities, every once in a while they'll come back and I can use them again. But if I do a lot of fatigue, well, guess what? It's going to take me longer to get back to those abilities.
So
Very, very cool.
so it's kind of like this push mechanic to get your big abilities back. If you use it once and then don't really exhaust yourself, you'll get them right back. But if you exhaust yourself enough, it's going to take longer to build up that strength and endurance to get that ability back.
Right. Stacy says it would be easy to silence game if one of you guys could demo the game for us. Trust your opinions. I appreciate the trust. I would love to demo this and share my thoughts. I'm hoping to do so at the very least at Gen Con.
At Gen Con, yeah. I think that's
But,
probably the only...
And of course, if they get a tabletop simulator, Steve would jump on that in a heartbeat, I'm sure.
I would. I've been, and even if they shared the rulebook, like if I could see the rulebook, I feel fairly confident I can share a lot more about this.
Yeah, and I remember we asked during the Q&A that they had on release day about the rulebook, and they said they weren't going to be releasing it.
Right.
So I think they said the reason it wasn't like, no, we're not going to release it. Screw you guys. It was more, no, it's just text right now. It's not our level of quality, so we're going to hang on to it until it's ready to be released, which is fair. It's fair, but I know a lot of people are clamoring for. Well, we want to people who rulebook readers like Steve, like Mike, and all those. They want to read the rulebook and see what it's about.
It makes me a little nervous on how far they are in the development process for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Chip Theory Games always does a good quality when they produce stuff, so I'm not worried about the end result. I I often wonder that these Kickstarters are launched sooner than they should be.
A little bit more prematurely. Yeah.
Yeah, premature.
I would actually be on the opposite side of that fence when it comes to Chip Theory Games. Of one company out there that I watch and know, I mean, and have seen in action. Chip Theory Games is the one I almost have more trust in than almost any other Kickstarter company out there that works through Kickstarter, because I can't even imagine. I can't think of a time when they didn't hit their delivery dates. They're really good about getting that delivery date done and producing a fully polished product. They're really, really good about that.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, I'm sorry, we got to kick it back 6 months, or we have to work on these other things. We're looking at Q3. Like, they're really good about being able to get that stuff out there. So, like Steve says, did they put it out too early? I don't think they did. I think they probably had this ready to in a state. I think it's ready to go. Now it's just a matter of fine tuning it, I bet, while this Kickstarter is going and things of that nature. But I wouldn't doubt that whatever their numbers are and whatever they have written there, that's spot on when it comes to them.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about the delivery date. I'm more worried about other factors outside their control, because the longer you have for churning, the more chance of shipping issues happening, as we're all familiar with, right?
True.
I don't want anything bad to happen to them when they're already saying they're going to absorb some of the shipping costs. I would hate something out of control to happen.
It's a constellation. I actually just got I think it was either Kingdom Death or it was Madara. One of the two sent out an email talking about their production and how they're doing and things of that nature. And it's they're in there. I don't remember who it was, but they did say that they're excited to be sending out a shipping quote for their backers, because you know how a lot of companies now are waiting until they're getting close to shipping, then they do their shipping costs, because we know that a lot of people had big issues with their Kickstarters because they tacked it on before, and then and one of them said that the cost of containers has gone from $30,000 down to $1,300. So it looks like things are
kind of leveling,
back down to a reasonable price for most things. It was one thing I read in one Kickstarter update, so I have no idea if that's 100% true or not. But it does sound like the shipping costs are, I think, coming back
to normal. Yeah.
At least semi-normal, not like this outrageous number that people had been seeing before.
Yeah. It's not insane, but it's better, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. One of the things I really love about it, and I don't know, so Chip Theory Games, no one will ever question their quality. No one will ever question their dedication to the community, and no one will ever question like how they feel about the community delivering on time and all that. I don't think that will ever be in question with this company. The thing that I do like is that they push to better their products as more games come out. One of the things is what I'm showing right here, which is, and the Isofarian Guard did exactly this, and I really love that they did this, is where your save game state, where you just put it in a box, close it down, and go, right? You don't have to disassemble your entire board to use it, so there's this nice little cover that's on there. Isofarian Guard did that when I saw it. I really liked it, and I like that Chip Theory Games is adapting that for campaign play.
I think that's amazing. I really like. I've enjoyed what I've played of Skyrim, but I think Steve and I have both been talking about that, where it's like their save box system is really and they explain how to do it, but it just doesn't seem like it goes against my nature when it comes to like how you save your game in that one, where it's like, oh, you just throw your tokens in here, when you bring it back out, you just gotta put whatever tokens you want. You're totally fine. It's like, really? It's like when I save it, I actually write down everything on a piece of paper and shove it in that box along with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's functional for Skyrim, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get all your cards, but it's like, oh yeah, what side like even Steve and I were talking like, I go, Steve, how do you keep track of tokens? It's really weird because I got a 5 on one side, 1 on the other. Which one was it when I put it in the box?
So Snow says they mentioned due to IP, they're almost ready to release. Due to that, they postponed it already. And Brad said someone should let Come On know about this. So I did the gameplay bundle because I don't need the all-in stuff.
What kind of YouTube creator are you? Not all in. Seriously,
I don't make Bairnt money, so I can't afford $400. So I don't make royalty money, so I can't afford $400. So the gameplay bundle is all I've got, which is on mine, and this is how much it is. With tax is $246.08. However, my eye has been drawn to the premium battle mat, and I've been staring at it the whole time. So when they open up the Pledge Manager, I will add that, but probably not right now. And if you need premium held chips for this one, it's there. I have premium held chips for Hoplomachus that I can use for this, so I'm perfectly fine. And there are other options for you to get, but they're doing unlocks like crazy. I mean, they're at... Did I say they're at, they passed 2.5. I know they passed 2.5. How much are they at? No, they're at 2.3. So they're at 2.3 million, which is, because I think 2.5 is the night. That's what it is. 2.5 is the night. So they're at $2.3 million, which is amazing. I had asked Steve when this campaign started, I said, do you think they're going to cross the $2 million mark? And he was like, yeah, easy. Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
Now I'm just curious to see how high it will go. Like, I'm wondering if they'll get to the $4 million mark to see if they can cross into that. And one of the things that Josh said on there was that when we add these stretch goals, it gets kind of dangerous because that's, we got to balance and build that stuff that we're adding to stretch goals. Some of that stuff is not readily available for us to do.
Makes sense. Stacey's going to take your copy when you're done with it.
I call first dose on Candy's coffee. He knows history too. I'm keeping Hoplomachus, Stacy. I'm keeping Hoplomachus. It's the first game that they made that it works for me. Brad said I went all in, but might drop everything but might drop and everything but the art book. Oh, and add the art book. I wonder if he's not feeling it, so I'm not sure. I think Burn Cycle, Snow says, Burn Cycle is their least successful Kickstarter, and they got like 700K on it. So yeah, they're not going to be hurting.
No.
All right, cool. So we're gonna move. So that is the game, the crowdfunding that's going on right now. Okay, so we're gonna just quickly shift into the short term. The short term games that are up. That are coming out in the short term, we mean in terms of like a month or a month and a half. And one of the ones that was announced by Fantasy Flight Games was Marvel Dagger.
More Marvel.
Marvel. And Dagger stands for Defense Alliance for Global and Galactic Emergency Response. I don't know why they didn't go with Shield. Sword. Because there's Shield and then there's Sword, which is in the comic books.
Is that the version?
They wanted their own.
I have no idea. I'm just making it up.
But basically, how they describe this game is Eldritch Horror Marvel Edition. So, so you are kind of
feeling from it.
You did? Yes! Like 100%. You're traveling the globe with your heroes. Solving specific mysteries at locations, trying to solve an overall plot of a great old one, villain.
Okay, yeah. I get that.
It's Eldritch Horror. Even the mat itself, as you can see, it's a little bit Eldritch Horror. Oh, look! There's areas in the ocean that you can travel along, like... So... It sounds a lot to me like Eldritch Horror, which I'm fine with. I love Eldritch Horror, but of course they'll update it so it plays very Marvel feel like. But Steve, have you read anything on it at all?
Yeah, I read a bit how it played. At least as much as they shared. One thing that's particularly cool is you don't play as a single hero. You play as a a pair, a complementary pair, and so it almost sounds like you can change your style or your approach because I think it's a double-sided card. So one side might be Natasha Black Widow, and the other side might be Yelena Black Widow, or it might be Daredevil on one side and Elektra on the other side. And so you
Mhm.
got, and I think they have different focuses. Like one might be more combat focused, might be more investigative focused, as my understanding. Not sure of all the details, but I really like that flip. It gives me a feel of like the Marvel Champions alter ego bullet point.
Gotcha. But they're both hero side, and you have
Oh, here's that.
abilities, you have stats, and all that other stuff that you go through to do fighting.
Right,
So
right.
it seems cool. I'm probably gonna get it. Most likely, it's up for pre-order right now, so it's not like, oh, they're coming to crowdfunding. They're actually pre-ordering it, so you can get it.
I'm probably not going to get it unless my wife's not listening. And if she's not listening, I'm going to get it.
Yes, Billy. It reminds me a bit of the Freedom 5 game. That's what I thought of when I saw this one. I
I
thought
know.
Freedom 5.
Yeah, I never played Freedom 5. I have no idea.
Yeah. So I think that's why the Elder Horror comparison didn't link with me, because I was thinking Freedom 5.
Oh, gotcha. It might be a cross between the two, which might not be a bad thing.
Well, Freedom 5 is kind of based on Defenders of the Realm, which this looks like too in that regard. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it looks like this is coming out. No, I don't want to see that. But the price point on this is pretty steep. It is $90 for pre-order for this game. So if you're interested in getting it, just know that the price point's $90. I don't know how many heroes are coming with it.
Steep compared to the other stuff.
Well, I think like $90 for a lot of. If you're looking at getting into base Marvel Champions, $70, so it's a little bit more, not too bad. But if you get into Marvel Champions, you're going to pay a lot more than $70.
I mean, it's expensive, but it's not unreasonable.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I would go
honestly, the days of $50 board games is
Pretty much over.
dead over. So
Okay.
This is what it is.
And you're just gonna, it's like everything else. I mean, I remember when you started with your Nintendo games being $30, then like Nintendo Super Nintendo came out, another $40, then the Genesis or something.
Just inflation. Yeah, just inflation. Yeah.
Well, now you're at $70 for a video game if you got the Xbox One X or whatever, or PlayStation 4 or something.
And when I look at the game board, I see Eldritch Horror like all over it. The Doom track. Oh wait, I mean the Threat track. I see Eldritch Horror just all over this game, but I don't mind that because if it's Eldritch Horror Marvel theme, okay, I'm not mad about it. Sounds good to me. Anything else y'all wanted to add on Marvel Dagger?
No.
Nope. I'm waiting for more news, but I'm probably going to pre-order this one as well.
Yeah, me too. So the next,
I'm gonna come and pre-order it.
the next thing that's going to be taking my money, Zombicide White Death. Yes, it's coming. It's coming next month. Very early next month. They did a big chat about it yesterday, I believe, where they talked about it's a tower defense Zombicide. So I'm very intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued by it. And I am probably gonna back it.
Me and tower defense games usually don't mix. We'll see how this goes.
Did you like what's the tower defense one? Tower Panic? Did you like that one? Or Castle Panic? Castle Panic.
Never played it.
It was just
What did I play, Steve? Which one did I play? I played something with Colin and you. What was it called? Kingdom Rush?
Oh, King Rush. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Okay.
That's good. I like that one. That's fine.
Yeah, so this one
Things with it. But still tower defense, and then it's like, okay, got to keep stopping these guys. I just have a hard time with my goal not going forward, but my goal being to stop things from coming at me. I don't know why that is such a thing with me, but I'm not a big fan of holding them back. I'd rather go forward.
Gotcha. Yeah, I am intrigued. I am the only Zombicide I own is Black Plague, the core game. I don't have any of the other expansions for it. And then I have Marvel Zombies one day that will deliver sometime. But Zombicide, since Black Plague was my favorite, and it was my introduction to that style of game that I really have a special place in my heart for it. And so since they're returning with that with White Death, and it's not just Zombicide again, where you just it's a tower defense style system, it's captured my interest, and so I'm like, I think I'm gonna give this a shot. So Larry says, I'm betting they are reusing their Besieged product. I've never played Besieged. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, that was an interesting one where it was tower defense. So you had 4 cardinal directions, and you had all these monsters coming from the sides, and you had to send out a messenger to go get help and have him come back. And you had to protect him along the way, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm with you, Larry. I bet they do pull some learnings from Besieged here.
It's but it's not a bad idea, because I think this system itself is pretty saturated in theme, and so being able to change the mechanic versus the theme is probably a good move for this for Cool Mini or not.
Yeah, so it's a different take. I mean, there's going to be a lot of the spawn zombies, and your heroes are super squishy, but they can get super powerful as well, depending on how well you roll dice. So it should be pretty good. But this one, I will be backing this. I'm not even going to begin to lie about it. And what's great is that I had earmarked a large sum of funds for Senkakushin because I knew it was going to be expensive. I knew it. And so that got postponed indefinitely. So now that game is no longer able to come out. So I've been shuffling off this money to other games, and one of them was The Elder Scrolls, and then the other big one, which is going to be Zombicide, because I know it's going to be stupid expensive. I had already earmarked money for Marvel United, so that's just a thing. But, yeah. But this is probably going to be those two will be my big purchases for this year. All right, so Steve, I'm going to switch over to you to go into the next one, which is Santorini.
Yeah.
So tell me about this, because I don't know anything about Santorini.
This was a competitive game that I was very interested in when it first was released. I don't think this was ever on Kickstarter. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. But it is an abstract strategy game with a very cool aesthetic to it. So it's based loosely on, of course, Santorini, the location, hence the name. So that's why the buildings look that way. But in this game, you control 2 builders, and they all have, on your turn you can move, and then you can do like a build action. There's like powers as well. But what you're trying to do is when you move, you can move on the same level or up a level or down as many levels as you want. But the goal is to get one of your builders on top of that 3rd level. And so you are positioning yourself moving up basically and building, right? And you're trying to get up there, but you can also cap the top with these blue domes, so you can actually get on there. So it's a little bit of give and take and leveraging your powers to get in that spot. It's very abstract in that sense, but it looks really fun, honestly. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because it was originally a competitive game, but with this upcoming Kickstarter, which I think is launching on the 10th of April, is going to make a co-op, which I'm super excited for, and I will be doing a TTS demo of this one. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm really looking forward to this one.
This sounds pretty interesting. I was gonna say it sounds like a competitive game. So, yeah. But yeah, with the co-op expansion, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, with the mod, maybe we'll play it, Derek. So it'll be fun.
There's no maybe in that, Steve. You I mean, come on. You just have to say, hey, you want to play a game, and we're going to play a game.
I'm a sucker for this type of simple stuff with like cool, unique powers you can intermingle. That's always fun. So.
Yeah. So I'm cool. I'm down to play. So just let me know when. All right. Next up on the docket, Leviathan Wilds returns. Steve, you want to talk more about that?
Oh my gosh! All in. Take my money. This game is so fun. It is.
It's the one with the what do you call it?
Game. It's that board game, honestly.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes, this is that one, right?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, this one was fun.
Yeah, I really like this one, and I think there's gonna be like 6 characters in the game now. And I can't remember how many Leviathans they have, but they've actually revamped the system since last time. And because last time it was more of a kind of a campaign, kind of a little bit of a progression, not legacy elements, but progression in it. And now it's focused on standalone scenarios, which looks really, really cool. So yeah, they'll be on the lookout for that. They are doing beta tests right now. So if you're interested in trying it out for yourself, if you jump on their Discord server, they're doing live streams of the content. I think it's every Thursday night. So yeah, instant. I highly recommend this one. Mike's played this as well. We're both really big on it. You guys have played this too, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun game. Very fun game.
Yeah.
All right, that is all our content of what is currently on crowdfunding that we are looking at, as well as what's coming to crowdfunding in April that we are looking at presently. There might be other games out there that we don't know. We didn't watch I didn't know about Thinning Veil until Desir kind of brought it up in chat, so I'll have to check that out. But I'll probably say from the sheer amount of minis, it might be because I'm going to Black Zombicide, which is going to be minis overflow.
Oh, Canje,
I don't have the space, man. I don't have the space.
That's what the garage is for.
I don't have the space. If I had the space, I would go all in on it. Hey, Powell Family Farm, good morning. Steve's mic is a little quiet. Really? Steve, stop being shy.
Okay.
Steve, stop being shy.
Yeah.
Yogi, I probably fell asleep as had a bunch of wine out at dinner, but did you talk about Dagger? Yes, we talked about Dagger. Yes, we did. You'd have to scrub back for that one. So, just kind of last minute while we're talking about what's coming up on our channels, if you have any questions, like I said, just put question, ask your questions. It could be about this. It doesn't have to be about crowdfunding. It could be about any questions that you have for us. Why Bairnt is so awesome, and whatnot. Like, you can ask those questions. Why Steve is the greatest of all time. You can ask those questions. Or why are these two allowing Canje to remotely even be on a channel with them? You can ask those questions too. So
I would say Canje.
So let's get into that while you ask any questions that you might have. So Bairnt, you are up first. What is coming up on your channel?
So, more importantly, also, if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss during our co-op chat, please feel free to reach out to us as well, so that we can maybe discuss some of the awesome things that you all have as topics. Okay, what am I doing? Well, we're going to finish Fireteam Zero on Monday. Which interestingly enough is a mini 3-campaign system. In order to play Fireteam Zero, you play 3 little mini campaigns. It's a 3-mission mini campaign. So talking about mini campaigns, there's one right there, which I enjoy those as well, even though I also like big giant campaigns. Madara's dropping today, the next one. My goal is to finish Act 1 before Act 2 comes, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm really going to try to push it, but there's so many awesome games that it's going to be tough to do. Then I'm doing League of Dungeoneers as well. I'm reading through the rulebook still. I know I've said that for a month straight, but still doing it. And hopefully get that to the table. And then I'm going to be joining William he has a thing called Board Games and Brews. And he, myself, and I think Daniel, I think he's talking to Daniel from the Dungeon Dive. We're all going to chit chat about League of Dungeoneers over on William's channel called Hungry Gamer. So please go check that out. I don't know when we're doing that, but I'll keep you guys informed. And then other than that, I'm doing a painting episode on Wednesday. Not sure we're going to paint yet, but usually by about Sunday or Monday, I figure it out. We usually paint something we're going to be using in an upcoming game of some kind. Last time we painted some guys from Madara. We painted these guys up. And the last one we did, we painted up our next Oathsworn that Colin likes to... Colin is killing me. He likes to switch up his Oathsworns. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to try that one next. I'm like, I have to paint that then. That's what I got to do. So I'm gonna paint that. I painted that up on the Wednesday. So you can join me then. We live chat while we paint in miniatures. And then I think that's about it. Then we're gonna jump back into Oathsworn. We're eventually gonna get to what's that other big game? On Trespass. We're gonna get that one soon too. There's what? So many games, I tell you, man. So many games. I think that's about all I God. Oh, there's Attack Wing, Star Trek Alliance too. Look at this. Can you believe I'm actually prepared? Most of the time I'm like, I don't know. Now it's like I've got so much I don't even know what to do. Star Trek Alliance, I just put an unboxing out. That game looks sweetness. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so I'm excited to fly some Star Trek ships around and shoot some Dominion. That's my plan. So,
pew, pew, pew.
roll some dice, hope they don't kill me. That's my plan. So that's what I got. Steve, what do you got on your broken computer? I mean, getting your computer back.
Yep. Not much.
Yep.
Honestly. I can tell you what I'm doing behind the scenes. So I'm prepping for Phantom Epoch playthrough. I know Derek and I have done some plays on that, so I'm going to continue that soon when my computer comes back for that one. Like I mentioned, Santorini, going to do a co-op stream of that one, so prepping for that one as well. I'm also playing through Isofaring Guard. I'm waiting till I get up to a boss battle, and once I do a boss battle, then I'll assemble the review for that game, so you guys can see your thoughts on that one. Because I think that's the last element I haven't seen in the game. I want to make sure I at least cover that before I put together my thoughts. But that. Oh, and then of course I mentioned Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I'll be playing that pretty heavily this next few days here to try to build up understanding how that plays and maybe do a review of that as well.
Cool. For me, I am reading a rule book, Steve, and it hurts, but I'm reading a rule book of how to play a game that's called Lobotomy. So, Lobotomy 2 Manhunt. I am reading the rule book on how to play. So, stream incoming once I learn the rules for that. It's an interesting rule book because the rule book says stop playing the rule book, stop reading this rule book, and go to page 2 and go to the scenario book to learn to play. So it's confusing. But I'm going through it to try to learn how to play that game. Next week also, because I know I have games in a rotation, but I'm actually going to go back to Hoplomachus Victorum for Virago Act 3 to see how that's going to go, because Virago is making her way across the continent, decimating people as she goes. And then Thursday is going to be Pac-Man and I replaying our Aeon's End Expedition 3 because we got destroyed by the Nemesis, which was awful. And I think other than co-op chat, Sunday is going to be this Sunday coming up is going to be the finale of Edge of the Earth for Arkham Horror with Kate, Cynthia, and myself playing through. And then sometime next month, I will be doing the 1,500 sub stream celebration because I hit those numbers. So I'll be doing that. Doing a giveaway. I've actually completed Elder Scrolls from Modifius, and that's going to be part of the giveaway. So I'll be doing a giveaway of Skyrim, of Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and a bunch of other games. I'll get the sign-up sheet for people who are interested in doing that. So just keep your eyes out for it as it pops up.
That sounds awesome. Canje, if you're interested in seeing, I know that it's older, but Doug Herring over at Mystic Eye Games did a huge kind of playthrough of Lobotomy. I think it might be the original version, but if you're looking for a playthrough, I know he does a really good job on his playthroughs.
Yeah, I've been watching his Lobotomy 2 stuff as well. So I've been watching some of his stuff, but I was like, no, I need to make Steve proud and just read the RTFM.
Steve never needs to be proud. Steve is always. Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's a sickness. I know.
So I am probably going to reread that manual the same page 30 billion times before it sinks in. But I'm going to read the manual and try to learn the game because that's going to be an upcoming stream, and we're heading into April. Which hopefully I'll get it done. Well, hopefully I'll get it done by then so I can get it scheduled. And then May is just the month of roll and write, print and play games, where I'll be playing roll and write, print and play games all month. So that ought to be fun. But that's all I got going on. So I'm not seeing any questions, so we'll just go ahead and end it for today. So I just want to say, Bairnt, Steve, thank you so much for joining for this. Thank you for inviting me to be part of Co-op Chat. I mean, I think I really enjoyed it. I know I joke, but I do appreciate y'all inviting me into the fold to just kind of chat and have a good time. So
we always have a great time.
Always a great time.
Yeah.
If we can.
All right, everybody. So that is going to be it for this Canje edition of Co-op Chat. Hopefully, by next Sunday, maybe fingers crossed that Steve will be back up to full power and doing what he does best. Because I do miss those Marvel United streams that you and I have been doing, as well as the playthroughs that you and Kim have been putting out there. So hopefully they'll be back up soon.
Yeah, but just to show you, there's he has ultimate cosmic power.
It's phenomenal cosmic power.
I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
Hey, don't worry. It's all good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we will see you all next time. Just remember, we absolutely love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.